also I'm going to do a similar thing in nationals and our 11-15 if there's no press conference.
Okay. Looks real. That's the way you look.
Yep.
Hi everyone, meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer with a little bit of weather. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes with the latest on the Bills-Bengals game that's been postponed and why. Trisha's on the phone with some sources right now. The newsroom's working on it. I'm going to do some weather so you get that, and then we will have the latest for you coming up. Here you see the rainfall moving to the north and east. That is a lot of rain. A lot of that is very heavy rain. Look at all the lightning in it. That looks much more like a spring pattern, although the thunderstorms are not severe. There are no severe thunderstorm warnings in this entire area at the present time. That's going to move our way, and get ready for a noisy night. There is no doubt that it's going to be noisy. The leading edge of the light rain in green is now into Owen County, moving into Carroll, Gallatin, Switzerland, pretty soon into Ohio, into Ripley County, and that will continue to move north and eastward. And there you see a little bit closer view. Switzerland County, Gallatin right here, Carroll, and Owen County already getting some of that rain and a few showers into the Batesville area. Temperatures right now in the 50s. We're looking at this overnight. Plenty of rain, some of that rain on the heavy side, and that's why tomorrow is a first alert weather day. We'll have more on the Bills-Bengals game and more on the first alert weather day coming up.
Channel I'm watching right now. So, yeah. I just again, folks, don't join. Don't give me donos. I don't want any of it. Just give it right to charity. I put it on members only mode simply to try and stop the chat from spamming and for putting in a bunch of nonsense that had nothing to do and putting out agendas, and I don't need that.
Meet Filmora 11, the video editor that can do more.
And I just can't get enough.
Goal, and then as Cincinnati is driving with the football for the second time, Damar Hamlin, a second-year safety out of Pittsburgh, tackles T. Higgins, and he collapsed back to the turf, and the reaction of the players on the field was all you needed to see. And immediately, there was a television feed that we have access to that's the same feed as the Monday Night Football crew has. And as I noticed the urgency with which the medical personnel were moving, it was very concerning because it was clear from their reaction that this situation was dire and that Hamlin was in distress. And as you see, those are hard to look at, man. Stephon Diggs in tears as he sees his teammate on the field being tended to, and as reports have been given throughout this hour and change since this injury, CPR administered on the field, as Joe Buck just recently has shared with us. Hamlin is in critical condition. You see the prayers, and we join them in lifting up this young man's name in prayer in the hopes that hopefully there's better news to come here very, very soon. Ryan Clark is with us. And Ryan, this is as heavy as it gets. Yeah. This was a night we look forward to. And now here we sit. And I just ask, as a member of this brotherhood, as a guy who dealt with his own health issues and scares, what words can we even put to this? What would you share?
I think the first thing, this is about Damar Hamlin. And it's about a young man at 24 years old that was living his dream, that a few hours ago was getting ready to play the biggest game of his NFL career, and there's probably nowhere else in the world he wanted to be. And now he fights for his life. And when Damar Hamlin falls to the turf, and when you see the medical staff rush to the field and both teams are on the field, you realize this isn't normal. You realize this isn't just football. And so many
watching football for as long as I can remember, I've never seen as much concern and as much heartbreak on the field of play, with everything coming to a screeching halt tonight. We're tapping into a lot of different feeds here in the WFLA Now Stream Center because we want to get official updates. We know that Twitter, Facebook, social media in general right now, there's just a lot of different commotion, a lot of different opinions being thrown about, a lot of tweets coming that people believe to be the truth, others claiming to be, of course, those closest to the family and to the team. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to be a source of accurate information. This feed just went towards the sky. I think they're moving this camera feed. We'll come back to this feed here in just a second. We'll tap the touchscreen and go back over to the stadium as we, again, await updates. And what we'll be doing here is we'll be animating some of your comments on screen and talking a little bit more about what happened tonight to Damar Hamlin. But again, we are keeping a very close eye on the official channels that we would use to get an update. So we're going to be paying close attention to the NFL's comms team, the Buffalo Bills comms team, and I'm sure that a lot of this is going to be playing out in real time on Twitter and on other social media platforms. But we wanted to just be a place of comfort and a place for reliable information because, again, social media at a time like this, when people are clamoring for reliable information, sometimes it's just not all that clear in the haze of endless tweets, posts, and shares. So we'll do our very best to provide you with as crystal clear of information as we can provide you with. And I believe that there is now motion on the shot from outside the hospital. I think that they might be getting closer to the front of the hospital. It is not unheard of to have an impromptu press conference when really the entire world is waiting for an update. And we're going to be paying close attention to various updates as they come in. And I'm looking here at just some of the stuff that's coming in. And again, it's just a lot of tweets that are coming out in support of Damar Hamlin. Let's go to some of the folks that are joining us on the WFLA YouTube page. You can use hashtag HeyJB, and I'll animate some of your comments on screen. We'll go to Stormy here. Stormy 7572, hashtag HeyJB. I really hope it isn't some sort of undiagnosed heart issue. Best wishes for them. So we of course, all we know right now is that Damar Hamlin is in critical condition. Several tweets have come out from NFL insiders. Of course, we do know that Damar Hamlin's mother was at the game tonight and that the ambulance was momentarily, according to one tweet from an NFL insider, momentarily halted so that his mother could join him on the trip in the ambulance somewhere really near the exterior of the stadium so that his mother could join him in the ambulance on the way in to the hospital. Here's now the shot that just came in, and it's with a reporter who has moved now. I think that they are now right there next to the emergency room. So if we get any kind of update from medical officials at the hospital, again, it's not all that uncommon in a scenario such as this for them to come outside and talk to the press, let them know exactly what is happening inside the emergency room. Let's go to some of the other comments. Again, if you use hashtag HeyJB, I can animate your comment on screen.
NBC wants to take us after the 11.
And this reporter is just standing by for live hits. And we're going to stay with this shot because, look, at any moment behind her, there might be some commotion at the entryway to the emergency room with an official coming out to provide the media with an update. So if they come out to talk to the media in any capacity, we're going to be able to cut to it live and be able to show it to you here. In fact, that's exactly what we're talking about. At any moment, they could be cutting over. Let's actually show you this here live, and let's just kind of listen in for a moment. Here we have some Bengals fans. You see a Bills fan there on the right holding candles, awaiting any kind of an update on Bills safety Damar Hamlin, 24 years old. Traveling says, #KJB, I'm glad they postponed the game. Player safety matters most than any game being played, regardless of who is playing. I think that this was the sentiment really across social media. There was very little concern about the game itself, and a majority, if not really a vast majority of the concern was about Damar Hamlin.
Right.
Again, this reporter is just standing by for live hits, but we're going to stay here outside of the hospital.
I'll go there pretty quickly. I'll go there pretty quickly. They're probably going to ask me a question. I'll respond.
So I'm just gonna keep her muted for just a moment as we again await new information as it comes in. So Wayne Smith, #KJB, they're reporting that his vitals are stable and that he is resting peacefully. That's what's being reported. I understand that that is of course some of the Twitter activity tonight, and we are hoping to get that same information from the Buffalo Bills. And from the NFL. I think that is, of course, the real concern here tonight is getting verifiable information from the league, from the Players Association, the team. And so we do know that they're going to be what happens in a situation like this when you have somebody that has been transported to the emergency room and there's just a tremendous amount of commotion inside that emergency room. There's word will start to leak out to various people that are inside the facility, and then texts will be exchanged. But it can be very difficult, and it happens all the time in breaking news situations when the first few leaks of information, if you will, prove to sometimes be accurate and prove to sometimes be inaccurate. And I'm not going to say that there's anything out there right now that is being circulated on social media that is inaccurate. What I'm saying is that we don't have it from an official source like the league, the Players Association, the Buffalo Bills, or the Cincinnati Medical Facility. Again, UC Medical Center there. You can see it over the reporter's left shoulder. So we're hoping to get a statement during this live stream because, look, there are a lot of folks tonight that are awake, that thought that they were going to be really. I mean, what we would be in the third quarter right now, maybe the fourth quarter, probably. I mean, it was about an 8:30 kickoff, so you'd probably be around the fourth quarter about now, and you would just, of course, you wish that it was just purely about football tonight, but tragedy struck the field in Cincinnati, and just it's absolutely. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Again, I've never seen players react like that. Never. Queen says, #KJB, prayers from Mount Dora, Florida. I know that there's a lot of prayers coming in tonight. I want to, I want to go to, let's see here. Lorraine Avellino, #KJB, a 24-year-old man who gets regular checkups in order to play football should not have this happen. Oh my God, he's 24. How is this possible? I think that once we get more specifics on how exactly this happened, we'll find out more about the medical condition and also, too, whether or not this is something that was traceable early on. Let's listen to this report.
The last 5 to 10 minutes, of course, to try to get information about his teammate. I can tell you earlier we mentioned that a few fans had showed up, maybe a half dozen fans. I want to show you what this has now grown to. Obviously, a lot of media here, but across the street from UC Medical Center, which is Cincinnati's Level 1 Trauma Center, is a growing crowd. Some Bills fans, some Cincinnati fans, some of them actually holding candles. This is Cincinnati. This is how Cincinnati shows up, not only for their own team and all of the fun and hoopla of what could be a fun playoff run. This is how Cincinnati shows up for each other. They're getting in a circle right now. You can see maybe about to pray. They're all holding each other's arms, getting in a circle of support. And I asked one of them, why did you feel like it was important to come here? Why did you feel like it was important to be outside of the hospital? And they said they just wanted to send a message to everyone watching that Cincinnati stands with the Bills tonight. Cincinnati is with Buffalo and pulling for Damar Hamlin. You know, I just heard from someone who's friends with Damar and asked, should I come to the hospital? And I said, you're not going to be able to get in at this point because, of course, only family can get in there. But people just want to feel like they can do something, like they can be as close to the situation as possible. And, of course, praying for a full recovery. We're live at UC Medical Center. Jatera McGee, WNWT News 5.
Joining us here on stream, Mason says, #HeyJB, I live in Buffalo and the city is very emotional right now. And look, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I know that there's going to be a lot of folks out there who are just, it's going to find it impossible to sleep tonight until they get some kind of an update that makes them feel at least a little bit better. And we're praying, of course, for an update that is trending in the right direction. Of course, when you have a player that is down, it doesn't even have to be a player, anybody at any event goes down for that extended period of a time, CPR being performed for many, many minutes on end, you remember how precious it becomes. Very, very, very suddenly, abruptly, cognizant in your mind that life is extremely precious. And just really hoping as the fans are here outside of the emergency room tonight, hoping that we get an update tonight that can, a positive update that can give fans in Buffalo, Cincinnati, and around the world, NFL fans around the world, some comfort as they await again an update on 24-year-old Bills safety Damar Hamlin. You can just look at these faces. I mean, we're talking about just shock. I mean, they thought, again, these are fans that might have come from the stadium, might have thought that they were going to be watching the fourth quarter of the game at this very moment. Instead, they're outside of an emergency room. And we see fans in black and orange. We see, fans in blue, red, and white. This transcends fan bases. This transcends the league. It's whether you're a sports fan or not. I've had some texts from folks tonight that aren't even NFL fans that are awaiting updates. And so, as soon as we get an official one, we will pass it along to you. We are staying very close with the NFL comms team, the NFL Players Association, the Buffalo Bills. There is now a tweet. Now, I'm seeing this now. This is Stephon Diggs. I don't have the rights to show it, but Stephon Diggs walking to the hospital to be with Damar Hamlin. Now, here we have some activity outside. Now, this could be just normal, routine, emergency room activity. But that was, making the rounds on Twitter right now. Stephon Diggs showing up at the trauma center. And, of course, there's also there are tweets going around as well claiming that the Bills are either heading to the airport to leave Cincinnati or have already left. We're working on confirming that as well.
Even if you got that, why do you post that? What is awful?
I don't understand why they couldn't have pulled a screenshot. Apparently they were rolling on my stuff for the internet.
They're gonna get it though.
Oh.
They'll have to just watch it back.
Yeah.
Hi. They'll just have to watch it back.
You guys are WNWT, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Cool. Joey from Channel 2.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You guys heard anything other than
No,
what was released
the
from
PR
his
rep stopped
PR rep?
responding.
Okay.
I don't see them doing something tonight, but I'm not sure.
Well, UC said they're not gonna do anything. So.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I can hear it in my earpiece. Interesting. We're picking up on some of the side chatter. So every medical center, every major hospital, even non-major hospitals, even mid-tier and smaller hospitals, they normally have a communications director, a PR representative, somebody who is in charge, especially at times of when a lot of media reporters such as myself, when there's just a lot of focus on a particular situation that is developing at a hospital, that person, that comms person, will be in charge of talking to the media. And I've spoken to comms directors from various establishments. It's a very difficult night for that person because they are getting phone calls and text messages from everybody at ESPN, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, NPR, every sports organization on the planet, trying to get a hold of this one person who is in charge of distributing reliable information to members of the press.
They need this whip, and then we're live again.
Okay, yeah, just hearing some more of that side chatter. So you heard there that that person, the comms person for the hospital, has not responded to this particular reporter. Sometimes the local reporters, and that was a local reporter you just heard from, sometimes the local reporters have a better inside track to talk with those people because they have developed a rapport with these officials over time because it's their city, it's where they work, it's where they reside. However, it sounds as if there's been, at least for the time being, radio silence between that one reporter and between whoever is in charge of communication outside of the hospital, or really inside of the hospital to reporters outside of the hospital right now. That's not necessarily good news. It's not necessarily bad news. It's just the status quo for the time being. And this is why oftentimes, look, when you have an extremely high-profile incident developing at an ER or trauma center, wherever it is across the country, and the entire media sphere is trying to get an update to provide some kind of an update to the press that are quite literally outside the emergency room doors. A lot of times it's more common than you would think for that official, that rep, instead of just texting 40, 50 contacts in their phone, to just walk outside and, say something to the reporters and to, the crowds that have gathered outside of the ER. That's why we're here live. That's why we're providing this live shot. That's why we're staying with this live shot. It's the one camera feed that we have right now in the Stream Center that is right outside the emergency room doors. The last time that this happened was Daytona. The last time that I remember there being, I think it was the 2020 Daytona 500, when Ryan Newman, for whether you're a racing fan or not, you might remember it was the final lap at the Daytona 500 when Ryan Newman was doing everything that he could to win, the most storied race in NASCAR and really in racing. And there was this extremely violent crash, quite literally, on the final stretch of the Daytona 500, and Ryan Newman was sent to the hospital. And really, there wasn't much, the race was secondary at that point, and there was so much concern for Ryan Newman. It's similar tonight. There's not too much talk about the game. It's really about Damar Hamlin. Let's listen in.
Escort to Cincinnati's Level 1 Trauma Center, and in the hours that unfolded after, a growing movement of fans. It started with just a handful of Cincinnati Bengals fans, and then we started seeing more of them show up. Bills fans show up as well. Some of them, of course, carrying candles. Just a few moments ago, they gathered in a circle to pray for Damar Hamlin, praying that he pulls through. The 24-year-old is a University of Pittsburgh graduate. He was a standout in Pittsburgh, from Pittsburgh, so of course beloved by the fan base there, and his family, his friends, his teammates as well. After he collapsed on the field after a tackle, just a few seconds after getting back up, the medical staff rushed onto the field to take care of him. The ambulance actually went onto the field, and then he was brought here to UC Medical Center. The NFL says at this hour he is in critical condition. His marketing agent said on Twitter that he has been intubated and that his vitals are stable. We are waiting for any additional updates from the Bills or the NFL, and of course from medical staff here at UC Medical Center. Reporting in Cincinnati, Jatera McGee, WNWT News 5.
That's one of the many live reports we'll be hearing tonight from this reporter with the local NBC affiliate in Cincinnati. And again, we're staying with this shot in the hopes that we get some kind of an update and really to show you, some of, the classiest fans in the NFL. Look, instead of going home tonight, they're outside the ER, Bills fans, Bengals fans, saying a prayer for Damar Hamlin. This is, of course, the last thing that anybody wanted, the NFL wanted, the Players Association wanted, the Bills, the Bengals. We were hoping to have football tonight. And really what an exciting time of year for the NFL as we have teams jockeying for playoff position. It was a night that that so many fans were getting really excited for because the Bills and the Bengals are considered to be Super Bowl contenders. Joining me here in the Stream Center, Justin Checker, who's sitting down with us. Justin, welcome in. Yeah, it's an emotional night, and again, we'll go here live and show you Bills fan, Bengals fans, side by side, elbow to elbow, as we all await. Everyone, look, see how everybody is checking their phones there. It's for good reason. They want updates. They're checking for updates, and we do know that there are some reports that are coming out online on Twitter, and we'll try to parse through those as best as we can. But really, we're waiting on an update from the NFL, from the NFLPA, the Bills, probably not the Bengals. It would likely come from either the Bills or the NFL. And right now, the last that we have heard that we can officially pass along is that Damar Hamlin was transported to the hospital in critical condition as the crowd grows just a little bit larger here outside of the hospital. Justin, welcome in.
Yeah, like you were just saying, this was supposed to be a night about football, two of the best teams, but all that just pales in comparison to prayers for Damar Hamlin and just how frightening a scene that was. Out, like most of us, do my job tonight, and I started seeing the tweets and the push alerts, and just a horrifying situation. And well, there was no way this game could have been finished tonight, JB. Just that's my first thought. I think the NFL did make the right call postponing this game.
Yeah, and Justin, if you'd like, I mean, I'm going to start, parsing through a lot of these tweets to, try to get some reliable information. But right now, we're really keeping our eyes glued to the NFL, the Buffalo Bills, to their pages, because any official update will come from them.
I do have the statement the NFL did put out earlier, if you want me to read that. This was
go ahead.
The official statement earlier today from the National Football League. Tonight's Buffalo Bills-Cincinnati Bengals game has been postponed after Buffalo Bills' Damar Hamlin collapsed, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell announced. Hamlin received immediate medical attention on the field by team and independent medical staff and local paramedics. He was then transported to a local hospital where he is in critical condition. Our thoughts are with Damar and the Buffalo Bills. We'll provide more information as it becomes available. The NFL has been in constant communication with the NFL Players Association, which is in agreement with postponing the game. So that's the official word we got just after 10 o'clock from the National Football League, officially announcing the postponement of the Bills-Bengals game.
Yeah, and I'm seeing reports that ESPN is sharing on their broadcast that there will not be an update tonight. And while I understand that is what the NFL is what ESPN is reporting. Look, I just, if an update comes out of that ER, if an update comes out of that hospital, believe me, it's going to be shared out. So while they're not expecting an update, there will not be an update tonight, according to ESPN. That's not to say that there couldn't be, a development, a change of some kind, because of just how many people, millions, really, Justin, that are hoping to get some kind of an update as to Damar Hamlin's condition tonight.
I think you might have seen this on social media. Maybe the one good thing that came out of this so far is his toy drive. Have you talked about that, JB?
No, I haven't.
Damar Hamlin organized a holiday toy drive, and since this awful tragedy on the field unfolded, it's now raised almost $1 million. So donations are pouring in for the Chasing M's Foundation Community Toy Drive, now at $988,000, well over its goal. So people obviously showing support for Damar Hamlin by stepping up to donate to this toy drive that he was organizing for the holiday season. So that's just one little good thing to come out of this awful situation, JB.
Let's go to some of the comments, Justin. We'll read through some of these comments, and if our reporter here chimes in, look, she's texting. Like, you never know, she could be getting an update, and this is why local reporters, right, local journalism, local reporters who know folks inside of this hospital might have some reliable source of information where they can pass along something to us. So we'll kind of stay with this shot and do our very best. And I just had, let's see here. Jonathan says, #HeyJB, praying for Damar and his family. Tracy, I see your comment. We're going to get to that here in just a second. Yeah, Jesse is hearing the same thing on ESPN. Just heard that on ESPN that they don't expect a live update tonight. Katie is sharing the same thing.
Really, JB, we're seeing just the entire NFL community send its thoughts and prayers. This from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Our thoughts and prayers of Tampa Bay. Rashad White tweeting, praying for you. Hamlin Island is his Twitter handle. So just all across the league, just the thoughts are pouring in for Damar, his family, and obviously his Bills teammates. And just can we imagine what it's been like to be in that stadium, JB?
No.
We see moments where, look, you realize the risk that's involved with this physical game, and you see serious injuries, but I don't think we've ever seen anything like this that's forced a total postponement. But again, I believe the NFL made the right call here. There was no way that game could have finished for both teams. Obviously, just tremendously shaken up, and their priority is the health of their teammate and opponent tonight. So we will wait and see what update comes from the hospital, JB.
Something that's making the rounds in our social media comment section is a medical term. I'm just going to bring up my notes here. And this is so there are some doctors online, doctors that that do a lot of great work as far as content creating, and Comio, I'm going to make sure I have this right, comatio cordis, which is really cardiac arrest that is induced by blunt force trauma to the chest, as I understand it. Again, not a doctor here, folks, but been combing through enough of what well-respected physicians, experts in their field, have been talking about online tonight, breaking down the moment of impact. And I already told folks earlier, and I'll say it again, I'm not going to be showing. I have the video. I'm just not going to be showing.
You're making the right call, man.
Yeah,
there's no need to show
it's not what we want to be showing here. I mean, we have the video of the aftermath, and we'll show the video of the aftermath here, and just kind of show you what it was like on the field of play when there was just tremendous concern. You can see some of the players there holding their hands on their heads. Some of the players, look, their jaws are on the floor. I mean, in complete disbelief, slamming their helmets into the turf. Tears, extremely emotional. Extremely emotional. But
yeah.
Oh, here it is. From Coley Harvey from ESPN, just spoke to a rep from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center who says the hospital does not anticipate giving an update tonight on Damar Hamlin's status. So look, the hospital might not be giving an update. We just don't know if there's going to be any other update coming from a family member, a friend, because this is there are a lot of folks that are staying up tonight waiting for an update of some kind.
So this tweet is gaining a lot of traction. It's from @Jordan R. He identifies himself as a friend and marketing rep for Damar Hamlin, which is why I feel comfortable sharing. Can't read the tweet, JB? Have you shared this yet?
Yeah.
So this was an update about an hour ago, again, from a Jordan Rooney, who's identified as a friend and marketing rep for Damar Hamlin. It says, update on Damar, his vitals are back to normal. They have put him to sleep on a breathing tube down his throat. They are currently running tests. We'll provide updates as we have them. So maybe a little glimmer of hope there, an update from a friend and marketing rep there in Cincinnati as everyone waits official word on the Bills' defensive back.
Yeah, it's and look, the NFL will figure out at some point, they will figure out what to do as far as the game, ticket holders, broadcasting. I mean, all the stuff that comes with the enormity of putting on not just a game, but Monday Night Football. That will all get handled at some point. I know that there were fans that I'm sure were disappointed tonight But I mean, the sport is clearly secondary tonight. There's no doubt about it. Let's go back to some of the NFL insiders are now sharing that out, and so there was when that tweet first went out. Not to say that Jordan Rooney, not to put any doubt there, but I'm very you know me, I'm very much a reporter. I like to be 100% sure, and so various NFL insiders are now confirming that that is in fact an official representative of Damar Hamlin. So again, the information is vitals are back to normal, and they have put him to sleep to put a breathing tube down his throat. They are currently running tests. We'll provide updates as we have them. But yeah, back to Cometio Cordis. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, and I am so sorry, folks. I am not a physician, but that is, again, cardiac arrest that is as a result of blunt force trauma to the chest. What I think made this so jarring of a look. You watch a lot of football, Justin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I watch a lot. Yeah, you and me both. We watch a lot of football. And there are times when you see a massive hit that knocks the wind out of a player. And you sometimes it's like, oh, my God, what a hit. And sometimes it's a scary hit. Sometimes it's a hit with, that's purely legal and it's just good gamesmanship. And you'll see a player just down for a minute or just have the wind knocked out of them. The NFL has been taking concussion protocol extremely seriously, doing everything they can to commit themselves to player safety. If a player shows concussion symptoms, they are immediately removed, or should be immediately removed from the field of play. But there was really very little about this collision between Tyler Boyd. We haven't talked about Tyler Boyd yet.
I believe it was T.
Oh, was it Higgins?
I believe it was T. Higgins. I can double check
okay,
that.
Yeah.
I believe it was T. Higgins, another receiver for the Bengals. I'll double check that.
It didn't appear to be that, a hit that was especially violent or
it was T. Higgins, the receiver, who he went to make the hit on.
Okay,
and
so
then
it's T. Higgins.
He went down for a second.
Right, Tyler Boyd caught the touchdown. Apologies, I'm getting my Bengals wide receivers mixed up. So yeah, it didn't. The hit itself isn't normal. That's not the hit that you normally go, oh my goodness, how could this could this hit occur on the field of play? It didn't appear to be something that was, at least to me. You can correct me when you saw the hit.
No, it was again. You're not showing the video, which I applaud you making the right call. It was just how the collapse. It was just so awful to see a player just literally fall weightless to the ground just moments after getting up from that hit. But to your point, we feel like we've seen more vicious hits and more head-to-head contact. I know from a few years ago when the Super Bowl was here in town, and I went to one of the press conferences with the chief medical officer. And to your point, the NFL has tried with changing the helmets, changing the rules on the kickoffs. They've tried to do as much as they can to minimize the concussion risks. And they say the statistics are panning out. But again, just bang bang play. You never know. And this was just eerie and just horrifying to watch. And again, I applaud you for not showing the video again, but it was
the most jarring part about the hit is that he gets up. That's the part that's so eerie to me, and it's been eerie to a lot of other folks on social media. He stumbles to his feet, and then he takes a couple of you could tell that he's not right. He takes a step or two backwards, and then he just falls flat on his back. It's scary that it happened the way that it happened, and that is why there are so many medical professionals that are providing their expertise, and that's why, social media it can be such a vibrant place, is when you have the expertise of some very trusted medical professionals really at your fingertips, and that Cometio Cordis, or again, I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I don't believe I am, but that they can look at that and say, we believe it's this. Now, look, it's going to take some time, of course, before they can run these tests and determine exactly what happened to Damar Hamlin tonight. But that is, I would imagine, a possibility given the number of medical professionals, trusted medical professionals, that are sharing that based on the observation of what happened as he stumbled backwards and then fell flat on his back, that appears to be what happened. We're going to reset here to launch on a new platform, Facebook Live. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on WFLA Now.
WFLA Now will begin momentarily. WFLA Now will begin momentarily. Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here's JB Buno.
A live look outside the Cincinnati Medical Facility, where Bills safety Damar Hamlin is currently receiving treatment. Bills fans, Bengals fans, united in prayer as they await any kind of an update whatsoever. Let's listen in live.
Stadium. He had just finished tackling someone, stood up, and then seconds later collapsed to the ground. Medical personnel rushing to the field. And we knew it was serious pretty quickly because the ambulance went onto the field at Paycor Stadium, which is not at all common. Cincinnati, unfortunately, has dealt with a few of these serious injuries at games because week 4, we had Tua here when he had his serious injury. And in the past, Ryan Shazier, a Pittsburgh Steeler, was taken to UC Medical Center here. They are a top-notch medical staff, making sure tonight that Damar Hamlin is being taken care of. His agent tweeting that he is intubated and that he is under the best condition, or that he is improving, that his vitals are stable now, Stephanie.
JB, Justin here with you live on WFLA Now as, again, we're paying a close attention to Cincinnati tonight, where we were anticipating being really in the fourth quarter or maybe the final of Bills-Bengals, a great matchup that came to just a heartbreaking, premature ending in the first quarter. When, as you see here, the looks on the Bills players' faces when Bills safety Damar Hamlin, just 24 years old, collapsed on the field. Bengals players, Bills players, just with this sheer look of disbelief. Let's pass along the very latest of what we know. I'm going to report first that major networks are now reporting that the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, their representative, is starting to get the word out that the hospital does not anticipate there being an update tonight on Hamlin's condition. So that, of course, I know that a lot of folks tuning in for this live stream, you're wanting updates. Believe me, we're trying to get updates as well, just anything that we can pass along. And hopefully the updates are of the positive variety, Justin. Yeah. But as far as what we can share, NFL insiders are confirming that there is a representative of Hamlin's on Twitter that is tweeting out tonight.
And that is Jordan Rooney, who put this out about an hour ago on Twitter. I'll read the tweet directly. This is a glimmer of hope, some good news here. He writes, his vitals are back to normal. They put him to sleep to a breathing tube down his throat. They are currently running tests. We'll provide updates as we have them. And again, Jordan Rooney identifies himself as a friend and marketing rep of Damar Hamlin. So that is the one update we've been able to verify some of the other reporting, JB, and just sharing that semi-positive news that vitals back to normal. But again, this is just an awful, terrifying situation. And obviously thoughts and prayers go out to Damar Hamlin, his family, and Bills Mafia.
Yeah, and look, we're going to stay on live stream for a few more minutes, and look, we hope that there's another tweet that comes out when you have this much attention being paid, and this many. Look, let's just kind of acknowledge that there's just endless prayers being sent for this 24-year-old tonight, and just hoping that he is okay, and with all that goodwill that exists out there, you're hoping that. Of course, that he is improving to a point where somebody, a family member, we already know already that the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, they're not going to be putting out any information tonight, but that's not to say that a loved one of, whether it's a family member or a close friend or a teammate of Damar Hamlin, doesn't, say something tonight, release something. Again, we have covered athletes being transported to medical centers and that being really the focus because, who cares about the game? It's really the focus on the player, on whomever the athlete is. I was talking earlier about Daytona 500 in the Daytona 500 in the year 2020 when Ryan Newman's car flipped on the final lap and no one cared about the end of the race. And people don't really remember that Denny Hamlin won that year. It was really everyone remembered the fact that on the final stretch of that race that Ryan Newman's car flipped and he was transported to the hospital, and it was really the story of the night was waiting outside of the ER that night for any kind of an update. It's similar tonight. We're hoping to get some kind of an update, even though it likely will not be from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. It might be some from either, Hamlin's reps, his mother is there tonight. I would imagine that his mother is probably going to stay inside the ER.
I was seeing reports that she came down from the stands to the field to be with her son. I'm not sure if she actually got into the ambulance, went with him to the hospital, but there was family. Obviously, this was a road game for the Bills there in Cincinnati, but Damar Hamlin had family in the stands. I believe his mom and they are with him at the hospital now.
So Vada saying #HeyJB, has it been reported that Hamlin has regained consciousness? There were so many people in the stands at the stadium that were trying to use their phones. You could see it. They were trying to zoom in on their phones just to see if there was any movement of any kind as he was being loaded into the back of the ambulance, as he was on the stretcher.
So usually look for that thumbs up or some motion.
That thumbs up is usually something that, you're used to seeing.
Seeing when you have a bad collision like this, yeah.
But I don't think there was any thumbs up. And I don't believe that there was any motion. And there's been no report that he has, regained consciousness.
Again, just the one tweet saying his vitals back to normal. He has the breathing tube coming from his rep and friend. So that is the the one update we are seeing.
His vitals are back to normal, which is, again, let's attribute properly. That is his rep, I believe his marketing rep, Jordan Rooney on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So that's the source for that information.
So apparently from Ian Rappaport put this out from Agency One. I guess this is his actual agency. They're saying, please continue to pray for Damar and his family. We currently have no update at this time. We'll ask you to keep the family in your prayers. So that is coming from a tweet from NFL Network's Ian Rappaport quoting his agent, his official representation. So thank you to Meg on Twitter for pointing that out to me and JB.
Yeah, Mary Alvarez, hashtags all around. Let's unite in prayer. I was saying prayers in the car on the way over here. Trying to get to the station as quickly as possible as we look here and if you want proof of prayer, you're looking at it here on the center of your screen.
Yeah,
these fans got here soon after. Really, I mean,
and you know this.
Yeah.
There may be no fan base like Bills Mafia in the NFL. I've known from when they've played down here in Tampa, they travel in mass. There are a lot of Bills fans there in Cincinnati tonight, but it is just a touching sight to see Bills and Bengals fans coming together to obviously pray and hope for the best for Damar Hamlin. So just a powerful sight to see there outside the hospital tonight.
And again, when there's so much such a large crowd, it's not unheard of for a representative for the hospital to come out and just talk, say something. Just even sometimes we have seen situations where, athlete or not, a representative, a comms director, a media rep will come outside of a hospital just to say we have no updates. So look, we have this live feed. We're going to stay with this live feed as long as we can to just show you what is going on outside of the medical center. And if we see any action now, as far as action, there is video that is circulating. I don't have the rights to show that video right now, but Stephon Diggs, star wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, he was seen making his way into the hospital, and he was one of the players that you could see on the broadcast was, clearly quite visibly upset.
On this, Josh Allen, obviously the quarterback of the Bills, tweeted 36 minutes ago, please pray for our brother. The Bills put out a tweet where they kind of compiled all the different tweets from all the different teams, the Bucks, the Vikings, other players in the league kind of sharing their thoughts and prayers. It's again, the whole NFL community is thinking and praying for Damar Hamlin and really hoping he pulls through here, JB. And we'll just have to wait for that official update from the league, from the team, from the hospital. But again, seeing those reports that his vitals are back to normal, that is the little bit of good news tonight.
Yeah, it's something. It's something to hold on to. And, usually when you have something this scary, that the uncertainty is the most frightening because you just don't know. You don't know which way it is going to go. And again, I've never seen players react that way. You will see. You
see some of the injuries with maybe some of the limbs getting bent out of shape and just like gruesome. But here you can see just everyone's like just heart sinking, just from both teams. I mean, this is terrifying.
You know, it's so many of the memories that we have of players. You know, when we think back to anything quite like this, it's usually, like you said, it's usually a limb, and it's usually players reacting by, you know, taking a knee, you know, having their helmet at their side. You know, sometimes they'll look down, they'll say a prayer. This was a look of horror on the faces of so many players. It wasn't just you know, the standard, you know, take a knee, bow your head, say some words to a higher power. This was a look of, you looked on the faces of Bills players and of Bengals players, and they were genuinely terrified of what was transpiring, because they didn't know if they were going to lose their friend. Again, Bills safety, 24-year-old Damar Hamlin, a 6th-round pick, University of Pittsburgh, and an up-and-coming player for the Buffalo Bills on really one of the best defenses in football.
Championship contender. I mean, these are two of the best teams in the AFC, and you know, all that just pales in comparison to obviously his health and well-being here. Little update what I mentioned before about the toy drive.
Yeah.
So Damar Hamlin started a GoFundMe back in 2020 for a community toy drive. The initial goal was $2,500. Since this awful injury, JB, the foundation has now received more than $1 million in donations. So that is fans, people across the country coming together to support his annual toy drive. So it's maybe little good out of this awful situation. Again, obviously praying he makes it through in full recovery. But again, it's I want to pull up the name of the foundation to share with our viewers. It is the Chasing M's Foundation Community Toy Drive. That is the fundraiser that is garnering a lot of support here. Already up to 1.2 million, JB, since that last tweet from ESPN. So the money is pouring in to support Damar Hamlin's toy drive there in Buffalo.
Yeah. You just hope. Just hoping that we get some good news of some kind. But it's great to hear that that look, everyone has this tremendous anxiety, and they don't know what to do. You might be watching us, you know, on stream right now because you have anxiety. I'm on stream in part because I have anxiety, because I just want there to be updates of some kind, and I want there to be good news, because when you have this much you know, this much energy surrounding one person, one human being, and there's that much prayer ascending higher, you just want there to be answers of some kind. I'm just that type of person. I want there to be good news. We in the news industry, this is just kind of us sharing a little bit of what we do. We talk so much about bad news. We talk so much about death and destruction. And we hate to be here tonight talking about what happened to Damar Hamlin. That's why we are so hopeful to be able to provide you with good news, some kind of an update of some kind. Again, the University of Cincinnati Medical Center will not be providing an update, but that doesn't mean it might not come from a different source. Again, a representative of Mr. Hamlin's, or a friend or a loved one. Let's go to the comment section. What I'd like to do is I'm only going to put up respectful questions and comments. You can ask us a question. You can send prayers if it has hashtag Hey Justin or hashtag Hey JB. We can animate it on screen here from the WFLA Now Stream Center. So this is an official invitation as we stay here on stream just a little bit longer. If you would like your voice to be heard, if you would like to ask Justin or myself a question, or if you just really want there to be, prayers in the form of your submitted comment, please feel free to do so. We can, again, animate them on screen. They light up on my screen if it uses one of the hashtags on your screen, and you see it on the yellow stripes beneath our names, hashtag Hey Justin or hashtag Hey JB. Let's go to Lex. Hashtag Hey JB. God can make good from anything. Thank you to those who donated to his toy drive, and massive anxiety. I need him to be okay. And then a lot of prayer emojis. Yeah, I know that. I think you know the feeling, right? You just want somebody to be okay. So many people have this experience from their own lives. Let's listen in here for a
Damar
second.
Hamlin is in critical condition, and we are standing by at the hospital for any of the latest updates. Reporting in Cincinnati, Jatera McGee, Francis and Corey, back to you.
And Jatera's been doing really excellent work tonight for our NBC sister station, WLWT. That's in Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's see here. Yeah, we got Baylor saying, prayers to him and his family. Juan saying prayers for him and his family. LaMedia, prayers, and miracle. Got Roxana, Lord, please put your hands on this young man and heal him, and please guide the doctors that are with him right now. I mean, think about the medical professionals that are dealing with this right now too. And also,
it was interesting what the reporter mentioned, though. I mean, there's obviously been other serious injuries on the field there in Cincinnati. I think she mentioned Ryan Shazier, the Pittsburgh Steelers, a few years back. But enough cannot be said, JB, about these medical professionals that handle just all types of trauma, not just players on the field, but gunshot wounds and just really just what they go through on a night-to-night basis to try to save lives and provide the best medical care. So they're pros, and they're going to be in there doing everything they can.
There's another type of care that needs to be considered tonight, and it's mental care. Mental health professionals are going to be needed. Really, some of them maybe overnight for those players that were on that field, that were right next to Damar Hamlin, and to make sure that they are okay. And look, mental health professionals who might Bills fans are so in tune with their team. You noted Bills Mafia earlier. They are so passionate. And look, if anybody out there is in need of help, assistance of any kind from a mental health standpoint, please never hesitate to reach out. It starts with, and it could be, you might feel like it's impossible past midnight, but there's always people ready to help you out and talk with you. So I'm really hopeful that anybody that needs just someone to talk to, sometimes it can be that simple. They're able to find it.
And seeing tweets also praying for T. Higgins, the Cincinnati Bengals receiver.
That's another. As far as mental health, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing reports that he was with his mom in the tunnel there after the game. That she was with him as well. We mentioned obviously Damar Hamlin had family in the stands, but T. Higgins being consoled by his mother after this awful play. Like I said before, I mean, JB, these guys, we think about how Sundays just bring us together, all the positiveness of football and your fan bases, but can't forget, I mean, these are modern day gladiators out there. What these guys go through. We talked a little bit in the last segment about the NFL trying to modify rules with kickoffs, helmets and gears, trying to minimize obviously concussion risk. But here, just such a frightening situation that I don't think any of us have seen how many decades of following the game. JB, this was just terrifying.
See the Ninja. Hey, JB, the CPR in the field will work in his favor. Prayers and hope for Damar and his family. It was, and we'll show you the video. I mean, really within seconds of it, we're not showing the hit, but we'll show the aftermath just to show you. They were very, very quickly. And you can see there that the medical professional on the left knew pretty quickly, as I don't know if they were performing CPR immediately as they got there, but you could see that he was motioning for others that they knew it was very everyone on the field, from players to medical staff to the referees themselves, they all knew that they were dealing with an extremely serious situation. Really, as soon as they saw Hamlin laying there on the field of play.
Well, there has been, again, I mentioned before, the NFL made the only decision that could have been made to postpone this game. There has been some criticism, on social media, on Twitter, that the league didn't pull the plug on the game soon enough and that they were prepared to keep playing. So the NFL has taken some heat there, ultimately postponing the game indefinitely, which we agree, JB, is the only decision that could have been made tonight. This game was not getting finished there in Cincinnati.
We've got Jessica. Hey, JB, doctors and nurses in that trauma room are the only team that we should be rooting for right now. Susan says, observation from an old cop. Critical means he's likely to recover. Extremely critical is iffy. Grave is generally, end of life, but critical is good. He'll be okay. Susan, I like the glass half full kind of approach here, but to be real with you for a moment, I've heard of way too many situations where somebody is critical and they don't make it. And just because they're critical doesn't necessarily mean that versus grave or extremely critical, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're out of the woods just yet. Yeah. Look at Jeremy Renner, actor who was in a snowplow accident. I always look for the keywords being critical but stable, because critical could mean anything. Critical could still mean trending downward, but critical but stable means that they are they're in pretty rough shape, but at least they're in stable condition. But look, to stay positive with you, Susan, again, Jordan Rooney, his vitals are back to normal, and they have put him to sleep to put a breathing tube down his throat, and that they're currently running tests. That to me is the most hopeful piece of information, and really, God bless Jordan Rooney, right? I mean, for him to put that information out, to give that one tweet right now has millions of people just feeling a little bit more hopeful than they otherwise would be. So very, very grateful that he was able to share out that little piece of news.
The tweets reached almost 34 million people. So it's
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more. Exovial #HJB. Any update on receiver T. Higgins? I'd like to make sure that he's also okay and not getting backlash. No one can be giving. You shouldn't. And if you are, look, the NFL is I don't even say a contact sport. It is the contact sport in this country. People, you know what, and hockey too. Those are really the two contact sports side by side, I'll say. So T. Higgins it's a football play. It's a football play. And so I would very much hope that nobody is giving T. Higgins any more guilt than he probably already feels on his own. And if he does, he really shouldn't. He really shouldn't.
Pro Football Talk tweeted 3 minutes ago, the NFL is conducting a conference call momentarily regarding Damar Hamlin, passing any relevant information shared. Says from Pro Football Talk, one of the obviously most trusted sources for NFL information. So we'll keep monitoring if any more updates come in from any other the verified NFL guys. I know both of us follow for all of our usual news on the games, not something like this, but that is the latest from Pro Football Talk.
That's very interesting. Clifton Williams, not only praying for his family, but also for Wiggins.
I think he means Higgins.
Higgins. Yep. Yeah. Higgins, knowing he was involved with the collision. Prayer emojis there as well. Yeah, Ella Lang, #HJB, he's on a tube right now so that he can breathe. Yeah, and look, there were questions earlier as to whether or not he's conscious. We
don't know.
We don't know.
We're in the business of not speculating, and we will wait. Whether it's the league, whether it's the doctors, whether it's the team, we will wait to pass on. The most
I mean, we do know that he was. Look, they put him to sleep with a breathing tube. Yes. So we know that he's asleep.
At least breathing with some assistance at this point
through Jordan Rooney. But really, the question is, did he ever regain consciousness momentarily, even between laying there on the field and making it to the hospital? I think that is likely what was most alarming, was that they were trying to get any signs that
the reports are he was down for about 10 minutes on the field before the ambulance then took him over to the medical center.
Can we talk about that? Man, that 10 minutes felt like 30. It felt really long. And ESPN, I was watching the game. ESPN was going back and forth, cutting between. Look, they kept going to Joe Buck, and then they kept going to Susie Colbert. Back at the studio, and bouncing back and forth between commercial. I mean, really just trying to do everything they could to just, let as much. They were trying to get updates behind the scenes, and clearly, there wasn't too much that they could. They did a great job as far as trying to deal with the unimaginable, and really just a terrible night, but grateful that, of course, that just a very classy job by ESPN to handle it the way that they did, as far as trying their very, very best to provide updates, and also too not going to the replay and showing.
I applaud you for deciding not to show that. I saw it once on Twitter. It was more than I needed to see, and again, I think you and other media outlets will hopefully follow suit and not show this and sensationalize it any further, because again, a young man's life is seriously injured from this. And again, you're making the right call, my friend.
Yeah, so we have lost our live feed from outside. We have a live feed here from outside of the stadium, but we don't have a feed outside of the hospital anymore. That is likely due to them powering down to conserve battery out there outside of the hospital, which means that we're going to be signing off here from WFLA. We are Justin again, Pro Football Talk.
They tweeted 7 minutes ago that there's an NFL conference call. Not sure if that's just among officials or if that's with other members of the NFL media, but that the league is in some type of conversation here after midnight on now Tuesday, trying to figure out how to move forward from this. Again, the questions of scheduling. That all just seems so irrelevant. Obviously, the focus being thoughts and prayers. So Damar Hamlin's health. I'm interested to see the next official statements that do come from Roger Goodell and the league, whether the medical officer will weigh in, but we will stay on top of this and again just provide you guys the most accurate information possible as we wait for word on Damar Hamlin's condition.
Folks, we'll be staying glued to the same Twitter channels that you probably already are, and if you found this live stream seeking some form of comfort, just know that we here too. We're praying for Damar Hamlin.
One more time before I'm just going to plug that fundraiser one more time in case anyone's joining us now. The Chasing M's Community Toy Drive on GoFundMe was a toy drive started by Damar Hamlin. It is now up to $1.4 million raised, JB. So donations are pouring in to support this young man, this football player, this athlete's fundraiser there in the Buffalo area. So again, that's the toy drive there. You can find it on Twitter. Again, the Chasing M's Foundation Community Toy Drive, now up to almost $1.5 million. Had a goal of $2,500.
I have a feeling we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and that's
like
going to be
3.5. Yeah. Imagine other football players, team, be supporting that as we just wait for word and hope for all the best for Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, I might go home and find it difficult to sleep, to tell you the truth. Again, it's just
jarring. I mean,
yeah, it is. It was just another night of Monday Night Football. It was
a game like this with so much hype and anticipation.
Yeah, two of the best teams in the league
that could very well see each other again. We don't know when they'll finish this game, if it'll be finished, but that could see themselves in an AFC Championship playing for a berth to be in the Super Bowl. But now all that gets pushed aside, and the health and well-being of this young safety. I mean, that is what is paramount right now. And again, just seeing how players on both sides of the field shaken up, seeing that image over and over again, and it's terrifying. We know these guys put their bodies on the line every time they go out there, but this was just one of the most awful things that we've ever seen on a football field, JB.
Yeah, Michael here commenting, this changes perspective on life, and it's a very, it does. It makes you, that is why they couldn't continue playing tonight. It was just simply because a game, athletic entertainment is so, to call it secondary feels wrong. It's a non-factor when you're considering about someone's health. And look, people who are talking about, I know that there were some people asking me for my response about various tweets that came out from unnamed. Look, I'm not going to name them, as far as some individuals who put out some alarming tweets tonight. I'm just
some bad hot takes. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, bad hot takes. And
we'll leave it at that. Yeah.
I'll just say that they're bad hot takes. And look, people who are crying about what the league is going to do with the Week 18 slate or playoffs or broadcast right or ticket holders or this or that or fantasy. I mean, any of that. Look, you got your priorities mixed up, and you need to focus on Damar Hamlin, Damar Hamlin's family, the Buffalo Bills organization, and the greater NFL family, because that's the priority tonight.
And to this point, I mean, I'm seeing people on my Facebook feed I don't necessarily associate with football sending their thoughts and prayers. This is transcended beyond just your average football fan. That so many people either saw or heard about what happened, and just prayers just pouring in from across the country, for this young man, and again, just praying for a full and speedy recovery, and again, thoughts with obviously Bills Mafia, his teammates, his coaches, players on the Bengals, and anyone's in that stadium was going to be incredibly shaken up by this, and thoughts with all of them.
Really appreciate Justin Checker spending some time with me tonight. I appreciate all of you joining us wherever you are, and hopefully we were able to provide just at least give you a little bit of company. As again, we're hopeful that Damar Hamlin is not only able to pull out but make a full recovery, and pull his way out of this. And really, our thoughts and prayers are with him, his family, his friends, his all of his loved ones, the Bills, the NFL, Bills Mafia. Thinking about you guys, and hopeful that we get updates in the hours ahead. I'm sure this will be on the top of everyone's mind tomorrow morning when they're checking their phones after waking up. We will have the very latest for you on WFLA.com. Any updates that we get will be shared there. I'll try to share out stuff on my social media account as well. Try to be a source for reliable and good information. I'm sure Justin will be doing the same. Really, thank you for joining us. Again, prayers for Damar Hamlin and really the entire Hamlin family. Thanks for joining us.